Hi everybody, today's job on the deck is going to be to weld up the step. So that's it, basically laid out. I've got to clean up a couple of little edges and going to have a go at this, and hopefully get a few more things done today. I'm hoping to get all the holes drilled in the deck for the lights. I've just tested all the lights. I've had them about a month, and hadn't tested them yet, so decided to test them. They all work, they're beautiful, so that's good. Also going to try and get these screwed down today, so drilled and countersunk and screwed in, get that all finished. Seeing it's still pretty dry and it's not raining and it's about 20 degrees, I'm going to try and put some paint on this pipe here. Still haven't played around with this yet to try and bring it out, but it won't matter. I can still paint the pipe and deal with that later. I'll paint this pipe as well, and whilst I'm on the painting, I'll do this one as well, and the base of this one, and hopefully I won't get paint on the concrete like I did before when I painted that. So that's the plan without overcommitting today. Don't know, during the week, obviously because this coronavirus is floating around, you know, you don't want to sort of go into built up areas, supermarkets, hardware stores where there's a lot of people. So I'm going to wait until one night close to closing and head down to the hardware and pick up some wood filler very close to this Merbu colour. I'm going to do all 700 screw heads, or screw holes, and yeah, and fill them. So we're getting there slowly. Oh, another thing I'm planning to do today, provided the weather holds, is I'm going to build those mounts that are going to come out of the roof to hold the shade sail. So I've got my piece of bar here, which I have to drill and put my 10mm eye bolt through. I've got my piece of C-channel here, which I've got to cut in half to create my 90-degree or right angle bracket to bolt to the roof truss. So that'll be another job to do today. Whether I get a chance to fit them to the roof is another thing. All depends on what this weather's going to do, because the roof trusses are hardwood, so I'm going to need my hammer drill to actually drill through it. My cordless won't go through it. It'll just take forever. So yeah, but the idea is cut this in half, drill a hole in each side, bolt that to the truss, and weld this bar across the right angle like that. Cut it at a predetermined length, drill a hole in it, and put an eye bolt in it, and that will be my mount for the shade sail. So that's my 2 welding jobs for today. No issues cutting this. You don't need any measurements or angles to cut that straight down the center. But what I will need to do is get up on the roof and slide a tile back and work out my actual angle for the bar. You know, hopefully it goes from corner to corner, but it may not. It may need to be more like that. It may even need to be like that. So once I have an idea of one, I can replicate that for the other one. So I'll leave it here, guys. I'll make a start and I'll show you how it all turns out. After a long day, I got a few things done. I should have filmed things as I went, but as usual I didn't. I just totally forget. But we kicked some goals today. I got the step book. So my plans for this is I'm going to drill a hole straight through there, straight through this leg, and just put a bolt in there, and that'll hold that in place. I've got to get some plastic 40mm square stoppers or plastic inserts for the legs. Another thing we did, or I did, is I got the first of the mounts put up on the roof. So I welded all my tube to me right angle and drilled the truss and coach bolted that in. I've got to get a cap for the end so that water doesn't go down inside the tube, but I've pulled some lead out of the shed that I took off the roof 20 years ago. So I had this piece and I had another piece, and had no idea what I was ever going to use it for, but I kept it, and today it came in handy. So and it's worked out. I've got enough to do both the pipes, but I've only got that one done at the moment. So it looks pretty good. It looks like it should be slightly higher on the roof, which will give it a bit of a slope towards this corner, which is what I want, because I want the water to disperse onto the back lawn. I haven't made the one for this side yet, which is going to go around the corner there off a truss, and it'll come up over the ridge capping, so I've got to make it a little bit higher, this one being higher, so we'll get that fall. And that's about it, guys. But I'll show you. I'm not sure if I filmed this already. I probably did. I'll know when it comes time to edit. But this was the C channel that I bought. So I just cut it in half, drilled my holes in there, and got my length of bar, cut it down, drilled a hole in it for the eye bolt that I'm going to put in it. I ended up screwing this into the truss, and then I just moved the bar back and forward until I got the right angle I was after, marked it with a Sharpie, took it down, welded it together. But I got a feeling this bar is going to be too short for what I want to do around the other side, because I've got to clear the ridge capping. Hi everyone, another day, 28th of March. Another beautiful Melbourne day. A little windy, but blue skies, sun's out, so I'm going to have a good crack at this deck today, try and get most of the stuff finished off. Went on a little bit of a spending spree during the week to get everything I needed, or close to everything I needed, to finish it off, because with this coronavirus we don't know if we're going to go into total lockdown, and if we do, we won't have access to the shops and stores. So I figured just, you know, get everything this week, and it can just sit there until I'm ready to use it. So as I touched on probably in the first part of this video, I actually got the first of the roof mounts up last week. So just go up here, and that's the first one. So that's got all the lead flashing around the base of it. had to cut the tile out. Long elongated hole, which looked like it was going to be like I'd overdone it, but when it comes out on an angle like that, it's going to be an elongated hole. So but yeah, that's sealed up nice. We got some rain earlier in the week. I got no leaks, so good sign. What else? Okay, as you know, I finished the step. So during my little shopping spree this week, I bought the bolts I needed to bolt the step through the leg. I also got the stoppers, or whatever you want to call them, the buffers, the plastic inserts for the legs, so I don't have steel sitting on the concrete. So here's a bit of a look at the stuff I got this week. I've got those caps for the legs, got the bolts to bolt the steps to the framework. I got my remaining 3 eye bolts for my mounts. I've got all my stainless steel hardware and wire cable. Hired the crimping tool from the same place, which was good. Bought myself a set of these drill bits. I had one a long time ago, a little bit different design than this. It was more based on a file type arrangement rather than actually a cutting arrangement. This has all the depths on it. Can go up to 32 mil, and then these are basically just smaller ones that range from 4 mil to 20 mil and 4 mil to 12 mil for your smaller jobs. So pick those up. They're not ultra high quality, but for what I need them for, they'll do the job. I'm going to use them as a countersink tool for the boards here, but when I put the bolts in, so they should come up alright. I bought some stoppers. I couldn't get the ones without felt on the end. These are obviously used for chair tips, but I needed something to cap off those roof mounts so I didn't get water down the tube. So there's our other one that we're going to be working on today. That was the original post that I cut for it, which I think is going to be too short. I will check it, but there's a long piece uncut that I can use should I need to. What else? That's about it. I've never had a go at this crimping thing before, so I know how it works. So yeah, I'm just going to give it a crack, and hopefully I don't balls it up. But I ordered more cable than I needed, so if I should happen to, my first couple of crimps, I should happen to stuff them up, at least I can cut the cable off. But it just means I'm not going to be able to save the ends here. It means I'm going to have to buy another end, so, but at least I don't waste the cable. Got my LED flashing there for my second roof mount, so I'll cut that down there and straighten all this out as I did with the first piece for the first post, and that'll be our LED flashing to go around the post. As I probably mentioned in an earlier video before this one that I'm going to put together, I had enough timber to do the infill here on the sides and the infill here. I didn't have enough timber to do the step or to do around this side, but now that the step's built, and I can physically see it, I might have enough in the offcuts here to at least get the sides of the step done. So there's a few decent sized pieces which I can use it to get the sides of the step done. I won't have enough to get the front done, but then again, I don't know, because I have one piece left over that I've been trying to straighten out for the last month in the garage here. I do apologise about the light. Let's put some lights on, see if it makes a difference. I've got one length here. I don't think it'll be enough to do the front. I might get, if I'm lucky, possibly 3 lengths out of it. I actually need, yeah, actually 3 lengths, because the step doesn't go as high as the deck. So if I can salvage this one, as you can see, I've been weighting it down, and it's a lot better than it was. It almost had like a complete 180, or not 180 twist in it, but it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. So it's a lot better than it was. So I might be able to get all the timber I need out of the scrap to finish the step off at least, and to finish off that side of the step, and then all I'm left with is to buy the materials for this outward side. So 4 lengths, I guess, will do it. So I'm going to make a start, guys, and I'll try and film it as I go, but you know me, I'll film it after I've done it. So let's see how far we get. Okay, another job I've got to do today is take down this cabling from the old shade sail, the old 5 metre by 6 metre shade sail that I used to run across this entire area here. I've got my like all my mounting stuff here, which I will replace with some nice stainless steel stuff, but I just want to get the shade sail up, and I will replace all this, but for now I'm just going to use it for the mock-up purposes. So that's got to come down, and then we've got the one here on the shed, which I've already hacked into and used, but I do have a couple of little cable clamps up the top there that'll come in handy. I think they're galvanized, so that's alright. You like these ones here. The bodies are okay, it's just that the U-bolts and the nuts rusted for some reason. So, yep. Never again. I'll never ever do cabling again. It is hard. Trying to put stainless steel rivets in with just a hand riveter, impossible. You need a pneumatic riveter to try and get them in. I've just reverted to some aluminium ones for the moment until I can borrow a pneumatic riveter, so I'm just using aluminium ones just to get it set up, because I've got to have the tool back. It's, well, going on Saturday evening now. I've got to have that back Monday morning, so I've got to at least get all my cables done. Once the cables are done, then I can deal with these rivets. I only got 3 of those stainless steel ones in. The 4th one I slipped, it grazed me arm, grazed me knee, hit the ground, so yeah, not having a crack at that again until I got the right tool. But the crimps takes a lot of lot of power, a lot of force to crimp it. Supposedly these jaws are supposed to close together like that, but they don't. There's probably, I don't know, a couple of thou in it, and probably just open like that a little bit. But they seem to have crimped okay. You know, I thought 4 cables were going to be enough, and regulations in Australia for cabling on deckings and stuff like that's spacing of 120 mil Now I went and set out 120 mil all the way up here, and I'd have to run 8 cables, and just this little bit of cable and the attachments cost me over 230 bucks. So you know, maybe 4 cables will be okay. Maybe I'll get used to the look of that. If not, all I'll do is I'll just go in between 1, 2, 3. So that'll give me a total of 7 cables rather than 8. So I'll actually still save money, not having to buy those extra couple of meters of cable. So yeah, I've been on this for hours just to get those 4 lengths of cable in. Trial and failure, but I'm starting to get the hang of it now. So yeah, as far as I know, you're only supposed to crimp it once. I was supposed to put multiple crimps in along there. First crimp I tried to do was up here. It was up close up here, and it wasn't going to crimp for love nor money, because I think the thread actually goes inside the sleeve down to a certain point, and then yeah, so I worked that out really fast. But all the railings are in now, so they're all countersunk. They look nice. I've left a recommended gap around it, although I don't like it. They do recommend 3 mil, because this has a tendency to expand and contract, so I've done that. I've got a bit of a rise here on these 2 posts. Now I've put the level on the floor, and for some reason this corner seems to have dropped going this way, but if I put the level on it from the house down to here, it's perfectly level, so I can't explain it. What I did do is I did cut a piece off the top on both of these, and it did drop it a little bit, but I'm going to have to maybe take some off the bottom as well, because if I cut down too far here, the bracket inside that holds these bolts, the weld that holds them in, will get cut off, and then those brackets will no longer be attached. So I'll sneak some off the bottom and try and level this out, try and get that hump out of the center there. But yeah, it's been a trying day, so I'm going to keep going with a little bit more, try and get this section done. Let's get another 4 cables in today, and then tomorrow have a crack at the long section here. Only problem is the 4mm drill bit that I had, I snapped it today, so I don't have anything to drill through the side of this to run the cable through it. I can widen these, there's no issue, but to start a fresh hole on this side, and obviously this side here, I don't have a drill bit to do it, so I might have to pop out in the morning and grab some drill bits. Those holes that are in there, I've been opening it up with this, because this starts at 4mm, but it won't drill a hole into stainless steel. It's just not sharp enough. So yeah, anyway guys, I'll leave it here, and we'll pick up on the action tomorrow. Okay guys, I'm going to do a crimp here. So I'm going to feed the wire in there till the bottom's out. Tighten the tension knob, and then what you want to do is you want to find the center of this sleeve on the end here. And then crank the shit out of it. And I'd say that's enough. Release the tension. And you've got a nice crimp right in the centre.